Shannon was kind enough to talk to us a few weeks ago about Thalamus, and she's here to go a little bit more into the advanced steps of it. She has over 22 years of experience in the residency program coordinator, GME administrator, and UME coordinator. And she enjoys building relationships and helping to put doctors in their right places. Um, and she used to teach preschool, so she has a lot of experience with education and teaching, and so she's just gonna give us some further information.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Kylene. Really excited to be back. Thank you for having me back for part two of All Things Thalamus. I am thrilled to be around all of you. I see some familiar names in the chat, so really excited. Just a little housekeeping. I am going to be covering today from the interview day and beyond. So what does that mean? Well, we're going to be talking about how your itineraries in Thalamus become schedules and how your schedules can then go to your interview day. And regardless of the platform that you are using for virtual interviewing, whether it's Thalamus Video or Zoom, WebEx, or Teams, we'll have an answer for all of it for you. We'll talk about how to navigate through your interview day, best practices for making sure your faculty know how to navigate through Thalamus, as well as talking about all the things you can do after the interview day is done, such as your rank list. And I'm going to show you how you can manage those rank meetings paperlessly, as well as what you can do on match day and how all of your data will flow into your Cerebellum product. Cerebellum is our recruitment data statistics tool that is replacing the DIO analytics tool in Eris. And so now all of the data for your recruitment season, such as how many applicants applied, how many did I invite, how many scheduled, who did I rank, what were my positions on my match list, all of that will be handled in your Cerebellum product, and we're going to talk about that. I will be pausing for questions periodically. Those of you that have been on trainings with me before know I also don't mind at all. If you want to be able to ask your question live, feel free to put questions in the chat. Julie, one of our account managers, Julie Labar, is here on the call, and she'll be able to answer questions in chat as well. We also have Brooke Moore, who's our Director of Strategic Relationships, that just joined us. So we have some help here, and I'm going to go ahead and get started with what is usually the hardest part of my presentations, and that is sharing my screen correctly. So if you just give me a second, we're going to go ahead and get started. And Julie, if you can just give me a thumbs up or a quick yes that you are seeing my season roadmap.
Thumbs up.
Perfect. All right. So I want to start off with the season roadmap. And this is one of our many tools that we have for you. We know how much those of us in GME coordinator world love a good checklist or a to-do list, so to speak. So in addition to our getting started with Thalamus checklist, which we went over on our last session, we also have our season roadmap. And this season roadmap is really designed to help you understand what are all the things that you can do in Thalamus. And when we say Thalamus, we mean cortex, we mean thalamus core, and we mean cerebellum. We have 3 products as that reminder. And so today's course is going to be focusing on where we are in the roadmap once we hit interview day. So step 8 here means that we've done all of these previous areas on our roadmap. We have invited our applicants are scheduled, and now we went in last time and talked about how you can build your itineraries utilizing the itinerary builder or the itinerary wizard. I'm going to do a review of that really quickly. And then how we'll manage through step 9, which is your virtual interview day, honestly, whether you're utilizing Thalamus Video, Zoom, WebEx, Teams, or even if you're doing in-person interviews. And then we'll talk about that rank list management, marking those applicants as matched. And finally, everything will end up in Cerebellum. So I'll be showing you your Cerebellum data today and showing you how you can access your Cerebellum product. So hopefully that sounds good for everyone. And we're going to go ahead and get started. So I am navigating over to my Thalamus Core product. Again, Thalamus Core is your scheduling, invitation scheduling, management, applicant management, interview day, scoring, ranking, and match day management tool. So everything is done here in your Thalamus Core product, and Thalamus Core will automatically populate your cerebellum data with all the necessary statistics. So we're going to focus today by starting on those interview schedules. So as a reminder, as you had built your calendar events, an applicant started scheduling, you're going to see their schedule information here. You're also going to be seeing all of your statistics update on your applicant dashboard. We went over this last time. Your applicant dashboard is where you're going to manage those invitations, those schedules, their scheduling groups, sending surveys, if you need to manually schedule folks. And we're going to come back and talk about how you'll be able to mark them as matched from this page as well. So once your interviews start getting scheduled, you'll want to build your itineraries. You have the option of building your itineraries in two ways. Those of you that are ARIS programs, you have access to our itinerary building tool as well as our itinerary wizard tool. The difference between those two tools is that our itinerary builder allows you to build your itineraries manually, and you can start building itineraries before having applicants scheduled. Your itinerary wizard will build your itineraries automatically, but you must have applicants scheduled. So in between that, you see my availability and faculty availability. Last session, we talked about your faculty can enter their own availability, letting you know when they're going to be available or not available. And then we also have the ability for you to enter your own availability. We all know as program administrators, we're available all the time during recruitment season, but you do have that option if you need it. So let's talk about our itinerary builder first. When we select on itinerary builder, you'll see it set up where you can view by applicant, by location if you're doing in person, or by interviewer. Your interviewer view is going to populate as soon as you choose a date with all of the people that are in your administration tab. And you'll see all of the events that are on your calendar will display here for you to be able to build your itineraries. Within the manual itinerary builder, if you have applicants scheduled, it'll show the applicant information here. And if you go to another interview date, let me see if I can find another one that we don't have people. You'll see if you don't have applicants scheduled, it will say this event has no applicants signed up. That doesn't have to stop you. You can always start building your itineraries by utilizing the by interviewer view and start building your itineraries that way. But I'm going to start with showing you an itinerary that I've already started. And I'll show you how you can create what I have on the screen. So let me just get there. So here's an example of an itinerary that I have built manually in my itinerary builder. Your calendar events become itineraries when you start creating sessions on your itineraries. Each one of these is a scheduled session, and you have the ability to create unlimited sessions. From this gear icon, you can choose to manage your session types. And here is where you can see we will preload these 6, I think it's orientation to other, we've preloaded for you. But you can create as many session types as you like. And so you can see I've created some custom ones. You can edit those, you can delete them. And this view with all the colors is just for you, the administrator, coordinator, or director. Your program interviewer role, your program applicant role, your residents, your fellows, they'll see their schedules from the My Schedule view once you publish your itineraries. When we select to add a session type, you can type in the name of a session, such as this resident panel interview, and choose any color you'd like to have visible. Once you save that, it'll come in your list and you'll be able to easily add your sessions. You can create a session on your itinerary by selecting Create Session and choose the amount of time for that session. So here I'm going to go ahead and build another interview for one of my applicants, or actually I'm going to build in a break for them. So I'm going to say from 10:30 to 11. And then I'm going to choose my session type. So if I have built in a session, great. If I forgot to add in a session, I can come here on the fly and say add a session type and make that any color I want and select save. And now I can go back and choose that break. Here is where I'm going to choose my location. Now, if you have purchased Thalamus Video, you're going to choose Virtual Interview Thalamus, and you'll see that your meeting links are going to be automatically grayed out because they will create the links for you. Within Thalamus Video, every session has their own individual link, meaning only the people that have that link will be able to join that session. And so that takes away the fear of Zoom bombing, or it takes away worrying about whether someone's going to join a room early. Those individual sessions will have individual links. And then if you're using Thalamus Video, you'll also be able to have an automated virtual knock. If you're using Zoom, WebEx, or Teams, you're going to choose Virtual Interview Manual, and you'll copy and paste your meeting link within here. If you're creating an in-person session, you can always have a location such as conference room or, the resident lounge, wherever it is that session's going to take place. And so we're going to just say Thalamus Video. And now I can say I need this break to be for this applicant, Rita. And if I have a faculty member that needs to be in there, if it wasn't a break or it was an interview, I'll be able to choose from all of my faculty. If any of my faculty members had entered their unavailability, there'd be a red unavailable tab and it would show you who's not available. For any of my sessions that I'm creating that are group sessions that I need to have everyone, I can always choose to select all my faculty, for example, or in my applicants tab, choose all my applicants. I'm going to save that session, and now you can see that there is this break added to Rita's schedule. Once I have added in all of my sessions for my day, I'm able to do a couple of things. First off, I'm going to make sure that I publish my itinerary when it's ready. When I select to publish my itinerary, it's going to ask me if I would like to notify my interviewers or my applicants that their schedule is available. I can choose one or both. And then an automated email will be sent immediately to all of those people. Hopefully here, it's going to just open up for me in a second. And let me just choose one, see if that works better. My computer has a serious lag today. I'm not quite sure. So let's try that again. We'll come back to it, but it will open up an email for you. I promise. It's just my computer. I can tell it's barely got a few bars happening here. It will notify your folks, and when you notify your folks, they'll be able to log in, and then you will also be able to see their schedule from your schedule view. From the Schedule tab, when you select My Schedule, you'll be able to see any of the itineraries that you are scheduled to be a part of. And then if you choose the interview date, you'll also be able to see who is scheduled, what their schedule looks like. So from an applicant perspective, this is what the itinerary would look like within the applicant's Thalamus account. They will view their schedule. Now, it's really important for you to publish your schedules before your interview date. And why is that? If an applicant knows they have a scheduled event coming up and they go to select on their event and they don't see an itinerary, it will give them a message. This program has not published their itinerary. And then they'll call and they'll be worried why they don't have an itinerary in their schedule view. So just make sure you remind yourself to publish your itineraries before your events. You can see that the applicant will then be able to join each of their sessions that is on their itinerary simply by selecting the Join Meeting button. It's one of the beautiful parts about the Thalamus video chat is that you won't have to move people around anymore. They will move themselves. If you're using Zoom, WebEx, or Teams, the experience will be exactly the same, but they will just join that first meeting link and, of course, be able to see when they're scheduled, and you'll be moving them from room to room or however you do it as part of your Zoom, WebEx, or Teams. You'll see the program applicant will also be able to access your program profile from their schedule view, and they're also able to print their own itinerary for that schedule view. From the interviewer's view, it's the same thing. We're just going to go back up and reset here. I'm going to choose my interview day that I just published, and I can take a look. For example, what is my program director going to see? Well, my program director is going to have the same view, except they are going to be able to write notes and enter the scores for the scorecards that you have created using Thalamus Holistic Review. They'll also, at the very bottom of the page, I don't have live documents on mine, but yours will be there, showing you the ERIS application, and they will be able to access all parts of the application from their schedule page. This gives your interviewers the ability to go in and write any pre-notes or make any notes at all about the applicant that they want to remember, or take a look at the application. As soon as you've published your schedule, this becomes visible to your interviewers. This gives them the opportunity to get started on things without you having to print out applications and go put a stack of them on their desk, right? Or take the risk of sending them via email, which we know is not secure, and having people's ERIS applications floating around the World Wide Web. So this is a really great tool, very time efficient for you and for your interviewers. They're also going to be able to filter the applicants by scored and unscored, and they will maintain all of their itineraries on the left-hand side of the screen for past events as you move through your interview season. I'm going to pause here and see, are there any questions so far about the interview / my schedule view? Okay. So we talked about how you can do that if you are doing things manually. Well, what if you want to use our itinerary wizard tool? Well, going to the itinerary wizard, when you first log in, you'll get this message that says, "Welcome to the automated itinerary wizard." And then it will allow you to select create itinerary. When you select to create itinerary, it will allow you to choose from your calendar events. And keep in mind, you must have applicants scheduled to utilize this tool. You'll be able to, as you go through, choose how you want those links to be built if you're using Thalamus. If you are using Zoom, WebEx, or Teams, you will have to copy and paste your links into your completed itinerary at the end. Here, our itinerary wizard will walk you through each of the steps that you will need to create an itinerary. You'll tell the wizard, are you going to have any group events where all of your applicants are at? How many interviews are your applicants going to need? 1 PD interview, 2 faculty interviews, 1 resident panel interview, for example. What types of folks are going to be in those sessions? So who are going to be your interviewers for those interview types? And then the system is automatically going to build and create an itinerary for you. I'm going to just switch programs really quick so I can show you what that will look like. And here in my itinerary wizard, you can see once I start building itineraries, it'll stay here for me so I can always go back and review things and take a look. If I go to this itinerary, I can see that when I'm just going to go start over here really quickly. Go back to my step 1. In my step 1, I'll choose the appropriate things. In step 2, I'll be able to put those groups if I have applicants that go on a virtual tour while another group of applicants is in interview sessions. I can create groups of applicants. I can create groups of my interviewers. So if I'm going to have panel interviews, I can then set up all of my group events showing all of those things like orientation, lunch, grand rounds, a program goodbye. And I can tell the system which of my applicants need to be in there and which of my interviewers. And I'll tell the system what time those group events need to be. When I get to my next step, that's where I'll tell the system, give every applicant 1 interview with the PD for 20 minutes, 3 interviews with the faculty for 30 minutes. When I get to my interviewer types, I tell the system, who's my PD? Who are my available faculty? The wizard will automatically schedule applicants with interviewers at his own will. So if you are looking for, I want John Smith to interview with Dr. Jones, you need to do that in the builder. The wizard gives you control over your group events and at what time. It will then schedule your interviewers and your interview times at its own will based on what you've told the system. Once you have gotten to step 8, it will go ahead and tell you what your itineraries look like. If for some reason it couldn't match everybody up, it will tell you who, allowing you to make any changes. And when you are done with your itinerary wizard, you can save that as a template so that you can then have that from season to season. Once you're done with your itineraries, you'll be selecting to create it, and it'll take you directly back to the itinerary builder. Your itinerary builder is also going to be where you are able to make edits to your sessions. So for example, let's say it is your interview day and 5 minutes before your interviews are supposed to start, your surgeon calls you and says he's stuck in the OR and isn't going to be able to make that session, but John Smith is going to go ahead and interview for him. You can come to your itinerary, open this session, create edit, select edit, and you can remove your faculty member and replace them with whoever they're needing to be scheduled with. When you make that change and select save, it will automatically update and be visible for that new reviewer and give that reviewer access to all of the documents, notes, and scores that they would need to enter. Any questions on itineraries? All right, so it's interview day. What do we need to do? Well, I'm going to show you 2 different things because I'm going to show you Thalamus Master View, and I'm going to show you how to log into each of your individual sessions. So your interviewers, they're going to just come to the Schedule My Schedule tab. The applicant is going to come to the Schedule My Schedule tab. And from there, you'll be able to direct them to log into their sessions. I'm going to go ahead and log in as an interviewer, log into one of my sessions here. And so how I'm going to do that is the first thing I'm going to do, I'm in Thalamus video chat. So I'm going to turn off my camera because Thalamus and Zoom, we don't want to have more than one camera on in a place at a time. So that's a really important troubleshooting tip, is always make sure your reviewers have only one camera on and only one application. And we're going to go ahead and join the session. When I select to join the session, my session is going to make me require me to log in twice because I'm in a demo account. Yours will take you directly to where you need to be. So you can just ignore this step right here. I'll show you what it'll look like from your experience. And I happen to have a whole lot of demo accounts here. And which one am I looking for? Oh, actually, I just realized I'm in a program I don't want to be in for this. So let's just switch that. We're going to go back to our schedule, my schedule. We're going to choose the session we want to join. We're going to join that meeting. And in just 1 second, it will allow me to get in there. So the first thing that we're going to see when you log in as a program administrator is if you're using Thalamus Video Chat, it's going to take you directly into your Thalamus Master View. This is the tool that you will use for your entire interview day. It will allow you to see all of your upcoming sessions and everything that's going on for your interview day. When we go back to that schedule and join that session, you'll see this is the Thalamus settings login. When your interviewers, when your applicants, and when you select that join meeting button, this will be the first screen that you see. It is going to allow you to ensure that your camera is working or your microphone, and you can see my microphone is working by utilizing, you can see that the speaker icon here is getting bolder when I talk and lighter when I don't. I can choose to blur my background or have an image as my background. And when I log in for the first time on my interview day, it'll have this button will be teal and I'll be able to select Save Settings, which will then allow me to join my meeting. If you are using Zoom, WebEx, or Teams, when you select that Join Meeting button, it will take you directly to wherever your Zoom, WebEx, or Teams link takes you. For those using Thalamus Video, you'll then go ahead and join the meeting. When we join the meeting, it will take us into the Thalamus Video Chat platform. Now, I'm on Zoom and here, so if my connection looks a little wonky, it's because I'm in 2 video platforms at the same time. But you can see the Thalamus Video Chat will allow your interviewers to see details about their session. They'll be able to see how long is it supposed to be. If they need a link in case they have any connection issues, they can copy and paste this link or call in just like they could call into a Zoom. In your live account, there'll be a countdown timer here as well as a duration timer that will let them know how long the session is and how much time is remaining. They'll be able to turn their microphones on or off. They'll be able to share screen with video as well as go back to that settings page if they need to change equipment at any time. Across the top of the screen, they'll be able to see who's supposed to be in the room. They're able to chat with each other in the room. And here is where they can add a score on any of the applicants that if it's a group event, if it's a single interview, it will just be that applicant, but they could select to add a score and enter scores on the suggested score on the provided scorecards. If they select to add a note, it will take them to choose in a group setting which applicant. In an individual setting, it will be that one applicant, and they can add notes on the applicant or see any of the notes that they wrote on an applicant. And then last but not least, they have the interview panel. This interview panel is a customized roster that will allow you to have personalized information that you can customize in your roster layouts visible to the applicant or visible to the interviewers. And all of this will be happening with the applicant not seeing any of this. Any questions about the Thalamus video chat platform? Okay. So those of you that are utilizing Thalamus Video, in addition to that master, how that will look, you'll also be able to see all of your events in your master view. They'll be displaying here for you when you have active sessions. It will allow you to be able to, let me just go here. Let's see. Yeah, when you have active sessions, you'll be able to see, or on your active interview day, you'll be able to see all of the rooms that are happening, all of the sessions that are going on. You'll be able to send messages into the room. You'll be able to see who's in the room. You'll be able to send virtual knocks into the room, and it will let you know when your rooms are active. We do have a full course on the Thalamus video platform, and so I don't want you to feel like I'm just brushing over it, but I do recommend that you take a look at all of our resources for the Thalamus video platform, in addition to the guides that we have to walk you through your virtual interview days, regardless of the interview platform that you are using. Once your interview days are over, your applicants will have been scored by your faculty, and you will be able to see your rank list from the applicant rank list tab. Remember, in score administration, step 4 is a really important step. When you are ready to have your scores populating, you'll want to ensure that your overall score is being calculated to drive your rank list. Here is where you can choose competencies or scorecards to drive your rank list, and you'll be able to choose what you would like to have either summed or averaged to make the score that would drive your applicant rank list. On your applicant rank list, you'll be able to see as scores get entered, and I'm going to go back to my other program so that we can have a more robust rank list. Your applicants will go ahead and start populating automatically to your default rank list. Just resetting here. They will appear in this order, and you'll see that they are listed in an automatic method based on our little legend icon. Any applicant with that star icon means that they are in that rank list in that position automatically. As you start moving applicants around, they'll change to a manual rank icon, and once your applicants are matched, you'll also see that status update to that colored in star. Everyone will appear on your default rank list based on the settings that you have told the system, both within your program page as well as your Thalamus Holistic Review platform. And you are also able to create as up to 10 additional rank lists. So as a surgery program, if you want to have a prelim rank list as well as a categorical rank list, you can create additional rank lists that function independently of each other. The applicant rank list is showing here in what we call our list view, but you can also view it in my favorite, which is the card view. This is a really great way to run your rank meetings paperlessly. From this view, you could easily put this up on a screen, and you're able to have all of the information that you normally would have done either by creating a PowerPoint slide, right? How many of you do that, where it's got your applicant name and medical school and some key facts about that applicant? This will do all of that for you. You'll see in our list view, as well as our card view, if I select on the applicant's photo, I get what's known as our rank panel. Our rank panel will show you customized information that you can create in your roster layout. It will also show you all the scores that have been entered by each of your faculty members, so you don't have to be going through your Excel spreadsheet. You'll also be able to see any notes that were entered by any of your interviewers. You'll also be able to see all of the ERIS application documents. From the rank panel, you can manually set an applicant status, or you can mark that applicant as DNR, or you can move them manually to any position on your rank list. Also, from your rank list, you're able to click and drag people around. And when you do that, it will keep track of how many positions you moved that applicant up, identified by the green arrow, and you can see the +3. If I move an applicant down my rank list, it will then show, oh, I did not do that. Let's go ahead and do that again. It'll show with a red arrow and the number of positions that that applicant was moved down. You're able to have those rank lists function independently of each other, like I talked about, and you'll see that each applicant will have these colored dots that will be coinciding with the color of the rank list. And if you hover over those colored dots, you'll be able to see what rank position they are on any of your other rank lists. Any questions about rank list management? No questions. Okay. At any time, you can use that gear icon and reset your rank. So once you've had, your entire rank meeting and then your program director walks in and says, never mind, let's reset everybody back to the same, you can go ahead and use this reset ranks. Again, from my list view, if I click on this icon button or eyeball button, I can go down and even mark that applicant as DNR, confirm, and you'll see that the DNR status applicants will be moved down to the very bottom of the page. I can use a bookmark feature to let me know that I have something else I need to do on this applicant. Think of it as a flag or a sticky note. And again, I can go directly to the notes and even make notes on an applicant while we're in the rank meeting. It'll show you all of this information, their overall score, their core interview score, their Cortex application score, if you used Cortex, when did they interview, as well as their medical schools. And if you prefer to run your rank meetings without photos, you can turn off the photos. When you are ready to export your rank list to the NRMP, you can utilize the export feature. You can export to Excel, CSV, or the NRMP text file. When you select the NRMP text file, you'll be able to save it to your desktop or wherever you'd like to save it, and then use that specific file to import directly into the NRMP from their website. This text file will provide you with the applicant's rank position, comma, AAMC ID, which is what is required for you to do an import into the NRMP. Once you have exported out your rank list, you'll be able to go to your applicant dashboard and patiently wait for match day, right? And when match day appears, any of your applicants that are in completed status, meaning they had a scheduled interview and they completed their interview in Thalamus Core, you'll be able to come in and mark applicants as matched. When you select from the three-dot menu and select Marked as Matched and confirm, your applicant status will change to this goldenrod color and be identified with the star icon of matched. I can do that in bulk as well. So if I want to multi-select applicants and go to my bulk actions button and mark as matched, I'll be able to mark all of those applicants as matched. Now, if I go back to my rank list, I can see that my applicants that matched into my program are identified with this yellow color and this completed star here, so that I will always have my data on where my applicants were on the rank list that matched from season to season directly in my archive mode without me having to print things out and put it in a binder or in a folder that's going to go in your drawer. Even better than all of that is back on your applicant dashboard. When you receive your list of matched applicants, all of your applicants that are marked as matched, when you select them, and you can do that by just filtering by your matched status, you'll be able to select those applicants that are marked as matched. And from your bulk actions button, build your rank match day composite. Simply by selecting Build Composite, it will create a document for you with your university logo, your facility logo, your program name, the academic year, and you'll be able to customize those two lines. It'll have your applicant's photo, their name, and their medical school, and then you'll be able to export it out into a PDF, a PowerPoint slide, or a Word document. Once you've exported that out to any of those types of documents, you'll be able to edit it any way you would like. You could add in additional information, but we've given you a really great start for your match day composite, giving you one less thing you have to really worry about. Any questions about the Thalamus Core platform from interview day to match day before I move into your cerebellum product? And I see a question here in chat. So in the Thalamus video platform, there is not an automatic end to the sessions. So your faculty and your applicants can be in the Thalamus video chat room for as long as they need to. And for some of us coordinators, we realize that's a hassle, right? You need people to be on time. So you as the program coordinator from within your master view button or your master view page will have the ability to enter any room at any time to do a little stick your head in the room and say, hi there, please wrap up. Or you can go in at any point and close the room and kick them out, so to speak, if you need to. And then, of course, faculty can score applicants after the interview at any time. Your faculty interviewers, as a reminder, are always going to have access to the applicants from the applicant dashboard, and they will be able to select to score applicant. That will be their only option on the applicant dashboard. They're also going to be able to enter scores and notes on applicants as soon as you publish your schedule from the My Schedule view. And after the interview day, they'll be able to go to any of their past events and access any of the applicants and enter their scores. And they'll be able to filter by scored and unscored applicants to see those applicants that are still pending scores from them. Any other questions? All right. So cerebellum, how the heck do you get to cerebellum? Who has access to cerebellum? Well, in your administration tab, you as the role of program administrator, coordinator, or director can grant access to any of your administrative team members access to cerebellum. So here, if we select on that edit icon, if I select cerebellum, that would be giving my faculty member, Oscar, access to cerebellum. How do you access cerebellum? Well, from your drop down next to your name, as soon as my toast message goes away, you'll be able to go directly into your cerebellum product by selecting on cerebellum. It will take you directly into your cerebellum view. I'm going to go ahead and log into my cerebellum program here real quick because I don't have a connected program, but that's okay. We're going to go ahead and get in. And let me just pull up a program. Just give me a second. Like I said, I'm having a lag today and I'm hardwired into my wall. So I think something's going on. There we go. So this is cerebellum. Cerebellum is made up of the sections that are on the left-hand side. We have a variety of resources on cerebellum as always, but if you hover over each of the sections, it will tell you what those statistics are. So when your program director says, what the heck are program summary statistics? You can look really amazing and just read this off. And so what this section is telling you is what are your statistics compared to other programs of the same size in your same specialty. And yes, Marianne, I can show you scorecards as soon as we get through cerebellum. It'll also show you how many of your applicants are also invited to other programs of the same specialty using Thalamus. And it's also going to give you an average of what your step 2 scores were. And this is also being worked on to provide Comlex. All of those statistics will also be available in images that you can export out. This is a great tool for web ads reporting, for your annual program evaluations, for your GME office's annual institutional reviews. And keep in mind that there is an institutional view for cerebellum as well. So your institution will also be able to see all of the data for any of the programs in the institution from an overview. This is your program view. As you move through, you'll also be able to see filters so that you can filter any of the above information in those program summary statistics. Moving down will be your DEI recruitment outcomes. So, as we talk about it being really important to put all your information into Thalamus, Cortex, or Core, you'll be able to see the DEI data for each of these different statuses. And as you move throughout the season and applicants go from scheduled to completed to ranked to matched, you'll have all of this data at your fingertips. Hovering over the graphs will actually give you the numbers and the percentages. And this hamburger icon here will allow you to export out this image as well as the data that is associated with it. Another great tool for reporting to web ads or your APES or your PEC meetings or your GMEC meetings. You can provide a variety of filters. And one thing I do like is if you just select on each of these statuses, it'll go ahead and remove. So if you just want to see those applicants that you invited, you can just deselect those. I think that's a neat tool. So I'm just going to go ahead and return these back on. You can filter by a variety of things such as medical school, location addresses, or personal characteristic of gender for that DEI recruitment outcomes. Moving down is your DEI matrix, which is going to let you know those applicants that self-identified in multiple categories. So how many of my applicants identified as white and Hispanic? How many of my applicants identified as Asian and Native Hawaiian? So this is another tool that you can use. You can export this out in a variety of options, as well as you'll have some filters in your platform. Your geographic outcomes are going to give you information on where your applicants are coming from based on current address or medical school. You'll also be able to scroll out so you can see any of your applicants that might be international medical grads. In your live product, you'll be able to scroll all the way down to applicant information and zip code, and you'll also be able to export out using your hamburger icon. My poor hamburger icon is looking like a little square, but yours will be able to select and export. You'll also be able to provide a variety of filters for that data. Next up is your interview invitation and completion insights. Mine doesn't have really visible data here, but what you can see is that your teal line that is solid is when you started sending out your invites. Your dashed teal line is when your specialty started sending out invites and when they wrapped up. The orange lines are for when you started your interviews and when you finished your interviews, and the dashed line is the same for your specialty. If you come over and hover over, you'll be able to see by certain dates what the percentages were of the applicant task that was happening, whether it be invites or interviews. This is a great tool, especially for those of you that are in common release time. If any of you are in those kinds of specialties, I don't think we are in surgery, but in case, you'll be able to compare what your program is looking like. Are you sending your invites out too early? Are you sending them out too late? And a variety of filters. Last but not least, when you have your match day data, it will appear here showing you what position the applicant was on your rank list, their medical school, their self-identifying characteristics, as well as their AAMC ID, so that you can have all of that information at your fingertips from season to season without having to export it, shove it in a folder, whatever you need to do. This will be available for you from season to season. You'll see your seasons will populate, and this information will also be available to your GME offices for their institution view. Okay. Any questions about cerebellum? We have about 10 minutes left, so I'd love to open it up for open Q&A. I know that there's a question from Marianne about can you go over creating a scorecard? I do recommend that you take a look at all of our resources on creating scorecards because it is a little involved, and I want you to feel really good about having all the things that you need at your fingertips as always. But in your score tab, In score administration, you will create a scorecard by following the steps in 1 and 2, and then aggregating your scores in step 4. We have pre-built scorecards for you in your platform. We've also pre-built questions. We've also pre-built competencies. You can use any of those that we've created, or you can create your own custom scorecards. Remember, your competencies are those categories of things that you build your questions in that are identifying the attributes that you are looking for in your applicants, either as part of the interview day or the application screening. So what type of applicants are you looking for? Are you looking for applicants with strong academic performance, or communication skills, or community involvement, or geographic connection? And then what questions are you asking to tease out those qualities? You would build those questions in that competency. I'll be honest with you, a lot of people today, and they said that, a lot of people have reached out and said, well, what if we just want to build all of our competencies in one, all of our questions in one competency? You can do that. Create a competency that says all questions, and you can move them there. You cannot delete a competency as long as there are questions in that competency. But you can move questions to any other competency. You cannot delete a question. So you could create a competency that says archive questions, and you could move questions there. Once you've built your competencies and questions, you will navigate to step 2, and this is where you will create a scorecard that can be visible in Core for the interview day or Cortex for the application review. You can have as few scorecards as you like, or as many scorecards as you like. If you don't want to use any of our pre-built scorecards and you don't want them visible anywhere, simply select the edit button and you can change any scorecard to the word none, and it will not be displayed in your platform. To create a scorecard, simply navigate to the bottom of the page, select Add Scorecard. You'll see at the bottom a new scorecard will open up. You'll name that scorecard. So maybe I want this to be my PD interview 2025. I can then select that scorecard to be where I want it visible in. If I'm going to have multiple scorecards, I'll select if I want it to be first in the list. I will then select to manage my questions. Here is where I'm going to put the questions that I built in step 1 on my scorecard. So competencies is the file drawer that you put the questions in. You build questions that help to tease out competencies or attributes on your applicants, or you're just creating your questions in one bucket that says all my questions. Now your scorecard is the delivery method for those questions. So here you'll see all of your questions. You'll just come through, select whatever questions that you want on your scorecard. I'm just randomly doing this. Once you've selected all of the questions, you will then go to your scorecard score. You can move your questions around in any order you want. You'll tell the system whether you want that scorecard to be a total of an average or a sum. And we have a few advanced options if you want some questions to be weighted more than others. Once you've selected Save, there is your scorecard. You'll select Save, and then that scorecard will be available to your interviewers and your PD and anyone else from those locations where we chose, where you can have scorecards visible: the applicant dashboard, the My Schedule view, and within Thalamus video. Janice, I see a question that you were in contact with Thalamus Help Desk. We have Cortex, and you need to import those selected to invite, but was made aware you cannot change the documents that are uploaded from Eris to Cortex to Core. That is true. There is now a new API. So unfortunately, at this time, you cannot choose which documents you would like to upload into your product. We are working on that for a future enhancement, but at this time, there's no ability to say which pieces you want. The entire Eris application moves over from Eris into your Cortex product. If you want your reviewers in Thalamus Core to not have access to the entire Eris application, you can give them the role of program resident. However, they will have access to the full Eris application if they are scheduled as an interviewer. If that role, if you assign them to interview an applicant, no matter what their role is, if they're on their agenda, they're able to see the application. I know we have just a few minutes left. I just want to say thank you. I want everyone to know to please, Janice, is there a way to delete those documents that were uploaded? There is not a way to delete those documents. Those are all part of the API that is new for this season, unfortunately. But our team is working on some permission levels and the ability for you to pick and choose which documents you want to delete. If you haven't deleted your applicant, if you haven't invited your applicants yet, you could delete applicants, but unfortunately, anyone that you bring over is going to have all of the applicant data. I know you all know how to get in touch with me if you need anything. You know, we have our teal help button on the bottom of every page, our user guides, as well as all of the training opportunities that we have for you are available and will continue to be available. We have our Thalamus University Online Academy, which is a free 24/7 self-guided module system where you can see all the things that you can learn about, from preparing through the season to managing your rank lists. We offered our ACS courses 15 times this year. We continue to host Thalamus Open Forums. These are weekly open forum sessions where you can come with Q&A with questions, and either myself or Amber will be there to answer your questions. We keep them small so that you have some dedicated time with us. We also continue to offer all of these live group training sessions. These are happening weekly. We also have recordings of all of those courses in our on-demand training sessions here. You can see all of our recorded training videos as well as all of our snippet videos. And we continue to do additional training, such as today, we have the next course in our 8-week series that is on scoring. That is happening today at 4 p.m. Eastern. If you'd like more information about that, just reach out to our customer care desk and we'd be happy to send you the link for that course that is happening on scoring today. Thank you so much for having me, and please let us know if there's anything else that we can do for you.
Thank you so much. I'm just always amazed hearing you go through everything and what a improvement things are going, and we're looking forward to seeing all the next version of everything, because it sounds like there's some good stuff coming down.
And we really do appreciate feedback, and your feedback is what makes Thalamus happen and what makes changes happen. So if you have anything that you're like, this is not the way I want to do things, please let us know. We promise you we pass that on to our engineers, and that's how the product has enhancements.
Shannon,
Thank you, everyone.
Shannon, there was one last question real quick about the documents that are brought into Thalamus Core. Is there ability to delete those?
Not if they came through the Eris API, but we're working on that, I promise. I know that that has been brought forward to our engineers, and they are working diligently trying to improve the product on a daily basis and meet all of your needs. Thank you, everyone. Have a great rest of your day.
Thank
Bye,
you.
everyone.
Take care. Bye.